Hey guys, welcome
Hey.
to our coverage of the Summer Game Fest Week 3.
We've only got this because they very impromptu
Yeah.
did a thing yesterday.
We'll
talk about that, but there was nothing planned until like June 11th. So
we were going to have nothing to talk about, but there was an impromptu,
very clearly impromptu
Valorant interview that went on here.
So if you don't know, Valorant is a game upcoming game by Riot Games, which they make Epic Games. Is it Riot? Riot, who makes League of Legends. This is essentially like an Overwatch kind of like team-based, squad-based shooter. Not squad-based, team-based shooter. And it's unfair to say it's Overwatch because Overwatch wasn't the first one to do it. But it's very clearly using that as inspiration in a lot of ways with characters and stuff. But anyway, so they did. Jeff Keighley had an interview with two of the people. Man, I should have their names, shouldn't I? But two people on the team developing and releasing.
Usually you're the one on top of this.
I'm usually the one that does this.
All I remember is that the first girl, and she was like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and this is my role on Valorant."
Yeah.
And then the guy just said, "I'm Joe, the game director." And I was like, Joe, the game director.
That's his actual birth name. Joe T. Game director. No, there's a hyphen. There's a hyphen there.
I was like, wow, all right.
Anyway, so this is an interview. Largely, it seemed like a impromptu thing to kind of announce, hey, it's coming out June 2nd.
So they had originally said in the next few months, we will be launching Valorant in proper. Obviously, it was early access for a long while now.
Yeah, there's
a lot of people have been streaming it and whatnot. Yeah, in the beta. And but they're saying we're going to be officially releasing it in the next few months. This was them. I'm literally guessing it was like yesterday or the day before that their studio said, no, we can release this June 2nd.
Yeah, let's get this.
We can do this June 2nd.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they kind of were like, oh man, this would be a great time to have the actual game out due to people being at home more. Let's try to make this happen faster than we were.
Right.
Kind of thing. Although they did claim multiple times, no, June 2nd was always the plan.
We just thought it was going to take longer.
Yeah, it seemed to me that maybe it was going to take longer, and also, let's cover our butts because of this whole quarantine thing. Like, might be affecting, and they do talk about how that affects development, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Valorant, it's coming out June 2nd.
Here's what I'll say about Valorant itself. I have watched very, very little of it, but I peeked in on some of the games, things like that. It looks cool.
It's not for me.
Not
it's
my
fine.
style.
I don't know. Not my deal. Not my kind of game.
But it's become hugely popular, really fast, and people are really excited for this.
Sure.
The interview itself, the interview itself was more what I took away from this than anything is just how impromptu the whole thing was. It was very much I'm going to use the word unprofessional, but I want to make sure that I'm emphasizing that as not a negative thing that I'm saying.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were like, hey, we're going to release it June 2nd. Jeff Keighley, will you interview us? And he was like, sure. And he seemed a little unprepared as well, as unprepared as I've ever seen him. Yeah.
His questions were a little general, which is good. No, this is kind of actually exactly what I wanted from Summer Games Fest. Like, the E3 thing is fun, but it's also very pre-packaged in a sense that it's just like, okay, this is your corporate speak. And that's great in some points. Like, Inside Xbox, great. Like, a digital version of that where it's not just corporate people speaking on stage, fine, good. Don't give me that. That's boring. But I also really love, let's just have an impromptu conversation about what's going on with this game. Let's get into some specifics. Let's talk about things people want to know about, like anti-cheat software.
That was really cool.
Because that was a really cool thing to talk about. Hey, we're going to have this. Here's why, and here's what it's going to do. Like, people might not like it still, but you can't claim that they weren't telling you what it was. Like, no.
Right.
And so, let's. There were a few things aside from just what the game was, and they talked about how there will be like content updates and all that, whatever. Let's talk about some of the more specific things. Let's talk about how they. Jeff Keighley asked them, "Hey, what's it like developing a game during quarantine?" And two quotes stuck out to me. It has slowed them down, but not in ways that have been crippling.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really interesting. Like, obviously, you're going to have some detriment. And it seemed like the biggest thing, the second quote, everything is more expensive to do from a communications perspective.
Yeah.
People have computers. You can bring your computer home and do all the same work. The biggest problem that all this is going to have is a communicate. You can't just... The lady was like, I have a really... I have a habit or just a way that I do work is I can walk through a room, get an energy of how things are going, briefly talk to somebody in the elevator, fix a problem over lunch, all these things, just because you're going to see them. And if that's not a possibility anymore, then it's going to slow things down.
Yeah, we assume that a lot of the digital things like video games, everybody could be at their computer at home to take care of these things.
Right,
but
right.
What we're learning now and what she was emphasizing through this is that there is a lot that's done because you share an office or because you're sitting with one another.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of like walking and checking in on somebody real quick. That the ability to just say, hey man, how are things going? Good? You're good?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, you need that? All right, I'll go tell him you need that. And then walk over there and go tell him, instead of being like, I need to email Frank. I need to check in with him. Yeah. Frank is either going to not respond or he's going to be like, you know what, I'm going to wait till the end of the week. Or maybe he'll respond right then. And then you got to forward that email to somebody else, whatever. And it's just like
a Zoom meeting takes so much longer than in-person meeting.
Yes.
You can't know one person can talk at a time on Zoom because if more than one person speaks, neither of them get heard.
Right.
In person, you can have side conversations. You can have like things like that. It's just this weird like revelation of how important in-person communication is, including in something like developing a game, which isn't a huge like mind-blowing thing, but it is important to remember because we often like to blame developers or like, oh, this is bad, you're garbage, and we don't even think about all the little like things that go into how it works. And so I thought that was a really interesting topic to bring up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of things that they noticed. There's an additional mode at launch, but it was going to be in beta. Right. And so they're saying, we've got our team mode right now. We've got what to do. They did say we will not do team deathmatch. It's not going to be a thing. Maybe in the future, but not right now. But they did say we're going to have an extra mode. Before they even mentioned that, though, there was a, is it okay?
I didn't know. Like, I couldn't tell if that was like acting. Like, oh, are we going to reveal something? Oh, or if it was legitimately, we didn't communicate. What are we allowed to talk about?
I absolutely think it was the latter.
Yeah.
It felt like the latter to me because they were saying like we were trying to catch each other's eyes to see what was okay to talk about. Like they'd say this in the interview.
Yeah.
It seemed so impromptu. Again, I said maybe the day before, I wouldn't be surprised if they told me. I emailed Jeff Keighley and he said, let's do this right now.
Right now.
Like,
because there's a couple weeks that we don't have content. Let's do it now.
Right. I would not be surprised if that is the case. But they said, yeah, we are going to have an extra mode, but the mode itself will be in beta.
Yeah.
So the game's going to be released, but they're going to have a different mode.
It's the consequence of a games as a service kind of thing now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this game is both in development and released. Like it's Schrodinger's video game.
Schrodinger's video
at all
game.
It could possibly be both.
Best description.
They talked about anti-cheat software. They have specifically Vanguard.
Yeah.
Which they might have brought up because recently it was revealed that the unpopular anti-cheat software for Doom Eternal is being removed. I don't know much about that story, but that to me was in my mind like, oh, let's get in front of this maybe.
Yeah.
The people might see anti-cheat software and say, oh, bad. And so what they specifically talked about was the fact that this anti-cheat software does not take any data from your rig. It will not take anything from it. Basically monitors like player behavior is what it seems, which makes sense. I don't know how any of that works though.
I think what they're saying is like it doesn't take any data, but it peeks in on your data just to check for certain types of software.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
I just appreciated that, hey, this is what this does.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just kind of openly saying that. And this is something that to me is a huge chunk of why I don't play online in situations like this, is that some people care so much that they'll cheat.
Yeah. We have a special guest. And we're back.
My daughter showed up. People love this game so much that they'll cheat to get it, or people love this game so much that they'll accuse other people of being cheaters.
Yeah.
And to the point that the video game developers themselves have to come up with some sort of way to see who is and is not cheating. And I just feel like it's a frustrating thing to be a part of.
It's a decision we have. It's a thing we have to recognize as players of the game. You cannot both complain about cheaters on a game and also complain about anti-cheat software.
Right.
Like, sure, do you wish it worked differently? I guess. maybe, but also maybe it can't work that way. Like,
right.
yeah, like you can't have you want to have your cake and eat it too. And also maybe they're not cheating. Maybe you're just bad at the game.
Although there are cheaters.
There are legit. No, that's a real thing. 100%.
Yes.
Anti-cheat software does something.
Yeah. So it was really interesting to hear them talking about anti-cheat software. It's not something I hear mentioned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that stuck out to me was it just ended.
Yes. Okay. So this was the weird thing. I wonder if there's a complete interview, quote unquote, complete interview somewhere.
Maybe
at around the 20-minute mark.
Cut.
The video just cuts mid-sentence.
It just ends.
Like, again, to be clear, this isn't them saying, that's it, bye.
And
like a real quick
it's
ending.
not abrupt. It's just done. Mid-sentence, over.
And it makes me think
unintentional.
One of two things.
Okay, or intentional for a reason.
Yeah. One,
which
unintentional video issues.
Sure.
It ended
very
there.
possible.
Number two, they said something they weren't supposed to say.
They said something they weren't supposed to.
And so the overall
dang, I wish I had watched it live then. There might have been something they said.
So the higher ups went back to like, you got to cut that.
Basically,
son.
at the end, they were just like, also Coke and Pepsi are the same thing. And then you saw Joe get a black bag put over his head and pulled out of his house.
Pulled out of there.
Feed is cut.
Oh man. So yeah, that was it. More than anything for the Valorant stream. More than anything, I just wanted to like let the world know we're releasing it. It's ready to play. There is another character that we're adding.
Cool.
But other than that, there's going to be another mode in beta.
Yeah.
Huge part of it was just them saying June 2nd, which is going to be about, from when we release this video, 10 days-ish, somewhere in that area. Soon. Yeah. So, yeah.
Also, it's free to play.
Free to play. You can go check out Valorant.
Yep.
That's it. That's what we got. That's what it was this week for the Summer Game Fest. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.